Just one thing that I'm super emotional about and I need to talk to someone and get kind of like a verbal hug
Okay.
from. I bet you already know what it is.
Yes, I do.
What do you think it is?
Candace Parker retired.
Oh my gosh. I love that you know your mother so well. Of what would I be upset about this week?
I actually was going to call you privately, but then I was like, I think this would be better for the podcast.
Did you have an idea that I was probably in tears for most of the last few days?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we'll stay serious with this for a minute. Candace is amazing, and she's like such a close family friend. We spent New Year's with her,
We
and
love her so much.
it's
Yes.
sad. It's sad that she's retiring, but I think it's good.
It's really hard to see your heroes be human. I think I'm going to cry. I don't know if I can talk about this on the podcast because I'll
Okay, we
just cry
can.
about it.
Hi, mom.
Hey, honey, how are
How are
you?
you?
Good. How's your week?
Week's good. Week's good. I was sick all last week, but I feel better now. Got to see the lady friend, which is nice. She's back. She
Is that what we're
appreciates.
calling her? The lady friend? That sounds like an old-fashioned woman of the night or something.
Nah, okay, girlfriend, whatever.
Are you guys
um,
using the G word?
yeah, it's my girlfriend. Yeah,
Okay, good. Well, congratulations. That's lovely.
she's a listener and a fan, so that's good.
She's a
Um,
listener and a fan. Did she tell you the amazing? Oh, go ahead. You go.
no, you go.
Did she tell you the kind gesture that your mother did for her this week?
Yeah, she did. I mean, I also helped plan the kind gesture.
I know it was for you.
You know, thank you. I appreciate it. I was gonna say thank you for it, and then that happened.
So don't ask for thank yous when you should just get them naturally. Is that what you're
I
saying?
was gonna be like, oh, my mom did this cute thing, and you're like, look at me.
Look what I did. Did you notice? Did you notice?
Yes, she did tell me about that. She was very happy about it. But okay, this is what I wanted to talk about.
Here's where
Just
we
to
start.
just to
Okay.
kick us off, because I've been thinking about this. Remember how we talked about telling embarrassing stories?
Yeah.
So you proceeded to go do a very nice thing, which I thank you so much for, and
Right.
then tell her embarrassing things about me. And then our most viewed episode so far is all an embarrassing story. So I just want to make sure that we remember that in episode 2, I said that you love to tell embarrassing stories
So
about me and
please
paint
stop
yourself
doing
as
it.
the hero. What if we don't do that? And then we're 2 weeks later.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and I will try to do better. I think here's where I go wrong as a parent.
You like to
I
pat
would
yourself on the
rather
back.
crack someone up and make people laugh than protect your feelings. That's just a hard, honest truth.
Wow, wow. That's okay. That's fair. Okay. Wow.
Like, if we can have a laugh,
Wow.
if people can have a laugh,
But you're never having a laugh at your expense. See, this is something I've
no,
noticed.
I'll
So,
laugh at my expense. I will laugh at my expense.
yes, unless it's a story where you can laugh at my expense.
Okay. I don't remember telling her an embarrassing story about you. So let's let the listeners in on what happened this week. So your amazing girlfriend has been on a tour. She's a musician. She's been on a tour. She's been all around the country in a tour bus. It's been a grueling experience. And I, as a mother who has been on the road for all of your life, can really relate to like being on the road and feeling lonely and feeling by yourself. So, what did you try to do?
So I tried to send flowers, but because it's a tour, they're gone by the end of each, night. And so
Because
I
they're
told
sleeping on the tour bus.
yeah. And so I sent flowers to the tour bus in its current location. I paid an extra fee so that it was same day delivery. And then they just decided to not deliver it that day because they weren't sure of where it was supposed to go. And then they delivered it the next day to,
Well, and she was gone.
when she was gone.
Well, number one, I really applaud you for being thoughtful and caring about her. And I hope that if I've taught you anything in life, it's to be good to women, which I do think you are. Would you say you're good to women?
you're trying to catch me out already. Okay.
That's an easy yes or no question, honey.
I think that's a relative term. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I am good to it.
Okay. So I was proud of you for trying. And since you were struggling so much, I offered to step up because I just happened to be in Atlanta for the Georgia College Football Hall of Fame ceremony. I had to drive up to Athens, Georgia. And so I took her flowers on my way to Georgia because she was at the Roxy Theater, which, by the way, is a very cool venue. Um, but she was surprised. She thought an Uber driver was delivering her a little surprise, and it turned out to be your mother. So she was cute. But I don't remember telling her an embarrassing story about you in that process.
And we'll move on from it. But I just want you to know you're out
Is
here
this something
just.
you'd like me to continue to work on?
You know what? I honestly don't think that's possible at this point. I think the ship has sailed, and it's more of I'm just watching the ship sail by with my dignity.
I remember having a conversation with Rebecca Lobo and her husband, Steve Russian, who, as you know, is a brilliant writer and wordsmith. And when their children were little, like I remember having this conversation with them that they would rather their children be funny than almost anything else. Like the importance of having a sense of humor and having your kids be funny and having laughter in your home and being able to crack jokes at each other and make fun of each other in a, in a kind and loving way, not in a demeaning way,
Yeah.
is a highly sought after life skill. So I will try to not do it at your expense, but humor is a big part of our relationship.
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just. Honestly, the ship has passed. After this past 2 weeks, the towel's thrown in because it's too late.
I think what I have to accept is that it does bother you. I've always looked at it like you're laughing with me. You're laughing at yourself alongside of me. You think it's funny too.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think what
nice
I'm
to
hearing
know
now
that.
is that you're not laughing so much as I am.
Yeah, well, there's massively famous, very influential people like oh, I'm gonna get killed for forgetting his name in this moment. The legendary coach, he worked with him forever.
Bob Knight.
Bob Knight, thank you. I wanted to call him Steve Knight for some reason. Bob Knight. I apologize,
You got him
but
mixed up with Steve Spurrier, who's also one of my favorite legendary
th-
coaches and good
there we go.
friends.
There we go. Yes, I'm okay. Both of these men were in your life when you were telling all kinds of crazy stories. Like I know for a fact that both of these legendary coaches who changed the face of basketball, they know that I had diarrhea on a plane in Florida. It's stuff like that. It's hard to wrap your head around in your life where you're just like people who are these titans that are like historical fit. Like I might go down in history as being the least important person to have the most historical connections that are bad. That's just through stories
There
of
are
them
a lot of really famous, powerful people who know an awful lot about you, but
and
but
have
that's
laughed
because
at
they
me.
care about me and
Yeah.
they'll say, "How's your son?" and they want to know.
Well, they love you and they laugh at me, and I think that is kind of what the vibe of this whole event is going to be, anyways. So I'm okay with it.
Okay. I promise to hear and acknowledge what you're saying. And I can't promise I'll never tell another funny story about you, but I am going to try to be more aware of it. Is that
Yeah.
acceptable, sweetheart?
Yes. Okay. And then so another thing I had before we get into our chaos theory.
Wow, you're coming in hot with lots of embarrassing or irritating things I do.
Not no 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 not irritating. Also, that's my mug.
Hmm?
That's my mug. The
I
M.
cheat
That's my
sometimes
mug.
and use your mug when you're not home. It
You
makes me
know,
feel closer
it's
to you. I'm
th-
sorry.
this. See, I think we're finally getting our flow. But you said that on the last episode we got to be a little nicer. And after here talking with several people about their conversations with their moms, I think we've nailed it. This is the most relatable part of the podcast.
Is is how we actually communicate,
Is
which
that
is through sarcasm,
yeah,
humor, and occasional criticism. Yeah, I think I am a critical
occasional.
parent because my parents growing up were very critical. And so sometimes it's hard for me to not pick at you and be critical of you.
I think that's a mom thing. I really do
It's
think,
hard. It is
yeah.
really hard. Like, hey, have you done this? Have you done this? Are you doing this? So I'm constantly trying to be a better parent to you. I don't ever think like, oh, he's already grown up. He's 20, 28, he's grown. I don't have to parent anymore. I do think we actually work really hard at our relationship and
We do.
being good to each other.
And you are a good
So
mom. You are a good mom. That there's no question about. I would rather Bob Knight know that I've had diarrhea on a plane in Florida than the alternative of whatever. I don't know what, but that is you are a better mom than, and that's the best thing you could ever ask for. You're great.
trying to decide if I should admit one more awkward story about you, but then it would be telling the awkward story about you.
Honestly, it's too late. Let's go. Like,
so there
my
is a
goose is
famous
cooked.
coach, Kevin Steele was a defensive coordinator forever. He just retired this year. And if you saw him, you'd know exactly who I'm talking about because you've met him 100 times. And he was at Auburn, he was at Alabama, Tennessee. Like he's been one of the great legendary defensive coordinators in college football. And I just happened to be working a game with him one weekend when you had gotten in trouble for telling me a lie. And you were really young, like maybe 10 years old, 9 years old. And I get off the phone and I've just kind of busted you in a fib, and I'm upset about it. And I go into this meeting with him, and he's like, "Oh, how's your boy? How you doing?" And I say, I'm really struggling because I've just caught him in a lie and I'm upset. And he gave me advice on how to deal with it. And so to this day, every time I see him, he's like, "Hey, how's your boy? How's your boy?" And he's been invested in you now for 20 years more, because he shared this moment with me of trying to help me through a tough parenting moment. And I do have a lot of coaches and athletes, like Cam Newton still to this day asks me about you because you were very young when I was covering Cam. And like, there's a lot of people who associate me and you together. And so they always ask me about you.
Oh, we gotta get
But
Cam on the podcast. What are we
yeah,
doing?
let's get Cam. He's so sweet. And he
Grew
every
up
time I see
idolizing.
him, he asks me how you are. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing because my life has been around all these people that, yeah, of course it's embarrassing if Bob Knight knows you had diarrhea on the plane, but that's who I'm working with. And he's someone I look up to, and he coached me up on a lot of things in life. We had a wonderful working relationship for a long time. And his wife, Karen, who I love dearly, still texts me all the time. So yeah, it's weird that the people who've given me parental advice and things like that through the years just also happened to be really famous. Pat Summitt was also great. She would give me advice about you all the time.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
very cute picture of you and Pat Summitt together. So yeah, it's
I remember. I was young, but I remember Pat.
oh, that makes me so happy. So speaking of Pat Summitt, did you get everything off your chest that you needed to? Are you done?
I mean, maybe. Are you? Is work about to take over the podcast? Am I gonna have to?
Just one thing that I'm super emotional about and I need to talk to someone and get kind of
Okay.
like a verbal
Okay.
hug
Okay.
from.
Okay.
I bet you already know what it is.
Yes, I do.
What do you think it is?
Candace Parker retired.
Oh my gosh. I love that you know your mother so well. Of what would I be upset about this week?
I actually was going to call you privately, but then I was like, I think this would be better for the podcast.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Did you have an idea that I was probably in tears for most of the last few days?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we'll stay serious with this for a minute. Candace is amazing, and she's like such a close family friend. We spent New Year's with her,
We
and
love her so much.
it's
Yes.
sad. It's sad that she's retiring, but I think it's good.
Yeah, it's really hard to see your heroes be human. I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know if I can talk about this on the podcast because I'll
Okay,
just cry about
we
it.
can move on, but we love Candace. That's
Yeah,
for
I've been
sure.
crying
She's
all week.
amazing.
It's hard for me to see her go. Ugh,
It's good. No, it's good. She's a close friend. We love her.
I've just loved her so much. And I've covered her since she was 18 years old. I met her when she was 18. And so it's just been really special to not only to cover her career, but to see her grow up as a woman.
Mhm.
One of my favorite memories about Candace is, and we've had hundreds and if not thousands of really special moments in and around games together, but she was a young mother. I think Layla was 3 or 4 years old at the 2012 Olympics in London. And there's Candace on Team USA, and she's going through all this drama because Coach Wariema wouldn't start her, which that's a whole nother podcast episode. I'm still salty about it to this day. but I went to those Olympics as a fan, and I went to every single game that Team USA played. And Candace Parker was the best player in the world at that time. Period. I will say it. I will put my mark on it. And she was coming off the bench for who knows whatever reasons. But there she would be back at the team hotel with her 3-year-old daughter, and she's juggling being the best player in the world, being on the biggest stage in the world at the London Olympics with Team USA, and she's like over there playing with figures and dolls with Layla, and everybody else is partying and getting drunk and having fun after the gold medal win, and she's over there being a mommy. And I remember going over to her and just saying, I respect you so much, as a player, but as a mother, you are blowing me away right now, because it is really hard to have a 3-year-old and to be doing the things that you're doing. My gosh, you are a special woman. And I think that's something I will always remember, is just how she has balanced, oh, I'm going to cry again, motherhood with being the best player in the world for huge parts of her career. And okay, clearly I wasn't ready to talk about Candace yet, so we'll move on. Okay. But one day I will be ready to talk about her more. But gosh, so much love, and
we'll bring her and Layla on here.
We'll bring her and Layla on. I know it's been an emotional week. I just love her so much. End of an era, but she's only beginning her. She's so young. She's 38. Her life is really just starting in many ways, and she and Anya will have a beautiful baby coming up in about I think 35, 36 days. So it'll be great. Okay, sorry, honey. I got.
You nailed it. That was great. There. That was beautiful. I'm glad we got to talk about it.
I know, next time
I'll call you and we can fake it. We can fake this. I'll call you in real life.
Yeah, call me when you think I might be like on the couch crying for 2 straight days, because
I didn't know you'd be crying. I was
weepy. You remember when Sue Bird and Sylvia Fowles both retired at the same season? Yeah. I was just weepy that whole year. I just couldn't, because they're just 2 of my longtime legends. Simone, there's like all this generation of player I've known and covered for 20 years, and it's hard to see them go. But okay, softie. I'm a softie.
It's better than being a hardy. That's I don't know. It's good to be soft. It's bad to be emotionally calloused.
There we go. That's a better term.
We don't appreciate emotional calluses.
Perfect. So I wanted to ask you, are you ready for our topics today? Because I have a very special topic I would like to get to. I've got my hat.
I'm ready. I have my hat. Ignore my hair.
I'm really just going to pick the one I really want to. I have 2 in here, but I'm just picking the one I really want to talk about.
What? That's not fair.
I had an experience this week related to this topic that I wanted to talk to you about. What is something that I have harped on you about for years and years and years that you hate
I got it already.
to admit I'm right about?
Work ethic. Harp on my work ethic.
And vicariously, what is something that you have harped on and on and on about for years that I hate to admit you were right about? So can I go first? Because this is very cute.
Well, I thought I was going to say the one that I think you harp on me about the most.
Oh, you can do that, but I was gonna give you some credit on the one you harp on me about the most.
Okay, so we have it correct. Okay.
Okay. So.
Okay.
For your entire life, it has really bothered you how I travel, because I am a person who wants to get to the airport at the last possible second. If I am running through the airport and I run to the gate in a full sweat right as they're boarding my row, I consider that a success. I would rather run through the airport than sit at the gate for 10 minutes. And
ridiculous.
It makes you crazy. And even when you were a very little boy, like when you were maybe 7 or 8 years old, you would beg me, can we please get to the airport quicker so we're not stressed out? It would really cause you anxiety. So what have you asked me to do for your whole life?
So that's such a good, I was going to say, what was I going to say? Now I forget it, but because now I'm just getting all these memories of us
running through the airport like crazy people.
Yes, traveling with you. Honestly, as an adult, I think my favorite piece of adulthood, other than being able to kind of do a decent amount of what I want with my life, the biggest thing is that I don't have to travel with you that often anymore.
Yeah, it's a weakness of mine, but here's why I
because
do it is because I'm
it
traveling so
terrifies me.
much. I waste so much time sitting around airports, and I hate that. However, so
What time are you
last
saving? What are you doing that you are?
I'm
I'm
going to tell
wasting
you.
so much time. What are
I'm
you?
going to tell you. So
Okay.
this week I had a flight, an early morning flight, 6:35 flight from in Atlanta. And I woke up, let's say 4:50, because I was like, well, if I'm in the airport by 5:30, they'll be boarding at 5:05. That'll be plenty of time to get through the security, blah, blah, blah. So I hit snooze on my phone for 9 more minutes. You know how your alarm, for some reason, 9 minutes is the thing, which
It's
who made up
10. It's
nine
10
minutes?
minutes.
But
It's 10 minutes.
I missed my flight by 1 minute
Yep.
because I was cutting it too close.
I
In
feel like just most hot. Airports are.
maybe they're just so overwhelmed and I need to be more
Yeah.
compassionate about it, but they're
Well,
very, very mean to me every time I
also,
travel there.
imagine every day when you go to work, you drive to the airport. That sucks.
That would be hard. But
You know?
anyway, so I missed a flight Monday.
Yeah.
And, of course, your voice is ringing in the back of my head like, oh, McKylin would be telling, I told you so. You should have gotten there earlier. So today I had a 7 a.m. flight out of Tampa, Florida, and I had to check 2 bags, which I never check luggage, but I'm coming back from our house in Florida. So I had stuff that I needed to bring home here to our house in Utah. So I got to the airport at 4:30 this morning for a 7 a.m. flight, got my bags checked, got to my gate, wasn't stressed, was able to go to the Delta Sky Club and enjoy a nice meal. And I just had a
See?
nice leisurely morning at the airport, thanks to you being right about your mother getting to the airport quicker. So, congratulations. That is something that I hate you were right about, but you are right about.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What
Thank
is
you. Thank
yours?
you.
Have I
Actually,
ever
you know
been
what?
right about anything?
Have you ever been right about anything? A bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think. I think you do harp on me. I do. You harp on me in a specific way, but I take it in one way. You always talk about my work ethic, and you say like, you don't work as hard as I do, which is impossible. You're insane. But it does make me. The one thing that always pops up to me is that I do procrastinate everything.
Are you are you joking right now? Look what my other topic was for today.
Procrastination. See? Yeah.
Procrastination.
I am a, which according to some stupid freaking TikTok that I've watched, it's just like an anxiety thing. I probably have some pretty bad anxiety. I know I have pretty bad anxiety, but like, whatever. And I procrastinate everything. Just like, it's pretty detrimental. It's a bad habit just because it's mostly out of, I don't know, like the thing stresses me out so much that I put it off and put it off, put it off and put it off, and then it's such a big deal to handle. Other than the passport, don't bring it up. We're not talking about it tonight. But
We're not going to give our listeners an update that you checked on it or anything.
I checked on it. I checked the website. I did everything I was supposed to do, and
Okay,
they're
just
just
I'm
like,
just okay.
"Thank you, U.S. government." You else. Anyway,
Hey, I thought we weren't swearing on this.
we said we could swear. Why
Oh,
can't we
okay.
swear?
No, what's so funny is I also am a procrastinator. And
Yeah.
so like when tasks seem too big in my mind, I don't want to do them right then and I procrastinate them. But by then procrastinating, they become bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'll give you an example. Just like sometimes when I'm home alone, let's say I eat breakfast, I might put my bowl in the sink, put some water in it, and I'm going to get to it later and put it in the dishwasher later, or
It's the
rinse it
worst.
out or wash it later. Well, by the end of the day or by the end of 2 days, my sink is full. And I'm like, what? Why did I procrastinate this instead of just putting it in the dishwasher as I go or washing it as I go? Like stuff like that makes me crazy about myself. If you would just do the task either A, right when you think about it, or before it has to get done,
Mm.
I just think it takes the anxiety away. So instead of the thing giving you anxiety because it builds up and builds up because you didn't do it, if you do it, it never gives a chance to build into anxiety. And I'm
Yeah.
fighting this constantly myself.
It's the I mean I know it's Nike, but I like to attribute it to Shia LaBeouf. It's just do it. Just do it.
Shia
Yesterday you said
LaBeouf, does he
tomorrow.
what does he have to do with the Nike slogan?
Give it a Google. You'll see it. You'll see it. But he famously had a whole thing about just do it. Don't let your
Oh,
dreams be dreams. Nothing is impossible.
the kid from Holes had a diatribe on Just Do It.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
Wasn't that
We,
one of our favorite movies with you growing up? Holes.
I
Remember
was a
that movie?
big, I was a big
You loved Shia
Transformers
LaBeouf.
guy. I love Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
I love anybody who was like, if you were a main character and you were kind of a weirdo, I was like, that's my guy.
you related to that.
Yeah, because what can you do? I'm a weirdo.
So, I think this is a good topic because I know for parents and kids, something that drives parents crazy, especially at all ages, not just adult children, but young children too, is did you take the garbage out? Did you take the garbage out? Have you taken the garbage out? Can't you just effing take the garbage out? So instead of me having to ask you 100 times about it, which creates anxiety for both of us, and I'm not saying you don't take the garbage out. You actually always take the garbage out when you're home. And it's something I really appreciate about you.
And I
But
do the
anyway,
dishes.
so what are some hacks? Like, let's think about this together because I literally wrote it down because I have procrastinated stuff this week and it's making me mad at myself. And I do think you tend to procrastinate. So, how can we be better at it?
So I stole this from Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. Shout out Matthew. If you ever want to
That
talk
was a
with your,
great book, by the way. I thoroughly enjoyed that book.
yeah, love that book. And we like Matthew. So, but he had this thing where he's like, he just makes a really long to-do list of everything you need to do during the day, and then you just check it off. And so I still procrastinate stuff on the list pretty regularly. Um, and it's always something new and random that I just kind of like I either don't get to or I'm like I didn't really get it done, even though I pretended to do it. I usually all my writing to-do lists, I never really check them off because I'll sit and I'll kind of do them, but like some days you do it more than others, so they roll over pretty much every single day. That's like one of the first things on my to-do list.
You don't love checking off lists. Like I am a
No, but that's
list
what I
maker.
do.
I have a
That's
hundred lists in this office right now. And there's no greater satisfaction to me than checking something off my to-do list.
no, I
I
do.
love checking it off.
But there's some things that just kind of roll over. Like with like I wish I had it with me. I'll go grab it. Or I'll send a picture or something. But I'll put like eat, work out, take a shower, uh go for a walk, get groceries, call your mom, text so and so and see how they're doing. Check on your Google Calendar, make sure that you have all your calendar stuff kind of up to date. I do submitting for acting stuff, reaching out to other people, sit down and write for 20 minutes, write 10 new ideas for A, write 10 new ideas for B. Um, Research city bike, just like random. And I just write down all of that stuff. And then the second I get any of it done, I just check it off. And then there's nothing nicer than like cooking yourself lunch and sitting down and like turning on Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something and like you can just see you have two things on the checklist that you just can't do because they're time related. Like it's like at 5 p.m. go do A or 6 p.m. go do B, and you can't go do them because it's time they have to do those at a certain time. So you could just watch a show and peace and eat and just relax. And like that's my favorite. That's my favorite feeling.
Mm.
That's how I do it.
I am a big person. I still write a handwritten planner, and I know this drives you crazy because every single Christmas I buy you a new planner, which you almost never use.
Well, because if you will listen, I don't use a planner. I
Right?
write
It's in your
my
phone,
own. It's in my phone. I don't need a planner. And
but
then
you
I write
can't
my
check
own
it off. Or
to-do list.
do you check it off on a? You know how you
No,
can
I
write on
write
your.
a to-do list on a legal pad. Buy me 10 legal pads for Christmas. This planner
Okay,
has been going on for 20 years.
so stop buying me planners. Is
I
what I'm
never
hearing.
use it. This is the okay. Every child that listens to these will feel me so deeply when I say this. Mothers they don't listen to us at all. You do this to me so specifically. I'll be like, I don't like that food. I've tried that food. And you're like, just try it. And I'm like, again, I have tried the food. I don't like the food. And you're like, well, you haven't tried it with me. I've tried the food. I don't like the food, but just try it. This is every adult child is right here with me on this one. We will tell you over and over again, we have our own way. We like to do something. You got to do it my way. It's bananas.
I feel triggered right now.
I'm triggered.
Um, I just don't understand how anyone can function without a planner.
It's
So
called
I
an
need to
iPhone.
just accept that you have a different system.
It's an
And
iPhone.
I'm going to vow to you right here today, I will stop buying you planners every year.
I can't wait to post on our social media when you buy me. You forget this conversation completely, despite it being recorded, and you buy me another planner.
They are very nice planners, though.
I have them. I have a pile of planners. I keep all of them. I don't just throw it away if that's any consolation. I tried to use it once, but it's just not because like
Not your
things.
system. I have
It
to accept this.
well, it's antiquated. Like iPhones, like my calendar in my iPhone, I have repeating events that I put on there. Like I can do everything so much easier. And then the to-do list, yeah, I write on a piece of paper because it's a daily thing, and I throw out the piece of paper when I'm done with the to-do list. You know what I mean?
There could
So
be some satisfaction with that.
I don't need a whole book that has I have to go through at the beginning of each month and write down blah 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 because it's already in my Google Calendar, and then I check my Google Calendar almost every morning at Google Calendar every morning and write down a to-do list based off of that. So the planner is just it's redundant. I do love how much you care about my planning, and I do appreciate and hear that you're doing something nice for me. But do me a favor and let's save the plan a little bit and stop buying me planners.
Okay, so let's circle back to where this conversation began because we got off on procrastination. But what is the thing that I have told you your whole life that you hate admitting I'm right about then?
I just said the procrastination.
Oh, that
I
you
said
should stop procrastinating.
yeah,
Okay,
that was my answer.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate this discussion. I've taken away a lot of cool little nuggets. I'm not gonna stop. I am going to work on the embarrassing stories.
It's
And
that one, honestly, just
I
have at
promise
it.
you, I'll never buy you another planner.
But okay, I don't want the mom thing to happen where you get mad at me like, well, I was trying to do something for you and you are just being mean.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
what's
I hear you. I hear you. You don't use it. I keep trying to force my system on you. I'm listening. I hear
yeah.
you.
Force other systems on me. You have other so far the airport and see this is how it feels. You have bad systems for me. So I'm getting my retribution.
But your system of me getting to the airport early, that was
It
a good
works.
system.
It works. See,
And I
sometimes
appreciate it.
I have a good system.
I can't say I won't be running through an airport again somewhere sometime. But for
It's
now, I'll be trying to get there a little bit earlier.
and I mean, as a consolation, I have missed every flight I've taken out of JFK. Just period. I've missed the first one every single time.
Okay, so you're going to work on not procrastinating your flights and leaving a little earlier as well.
Exactly. It's a snake eating its tail. Look at that. Look at what we did.
Success. Success.
But I got to go see because I mean I think it's because of the strike, so there's not as many movies. They're just re-releasing everything in theaters because studios, whatever. Um, but they re-released the Spider-Man movies in theaters. And do you remember going and seeing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 in theaters? So that was like one of the first times I'd gone to a movie and was like, I don't know if I like this movie. I remember being kind of disappointed after seeing it. I got to see it again last night, and it might have been the most fun I've had in a movie theater in since Barbie.
Mm.
It was a
So was the
blast.
movie disappointing or did you just remember it differently?
I think when I was a little kid, a lot of the humor I just kind of went over my head, and I was kind of like, why? There's not that many fight scenes, and it's not that cool, and like, there's too many people. And then watching it this time, I was like, this is hilarious. This is the funniest Spider-Man movie,
Mm.
and like, it's very heartfelt, and like, he learns to forgive somebody for making a mistakes that like hurt him, and he learns that he can hurt people too. Like, it was just so poignant, and I
Mm.
was like, oh my god, this is great. Like, my girlfriend was like, I think I cried, and she was just like, "You really love that movie," and I was like, "I
You
loved it."
cried in Spider-Man 3 this week?
yesterday, not even 24 hours ago. Teared up. It's amazing. The relationship with him and Sandman, it's great.
I love that you're a man that's willing to show his feelings. And I'm not even going to judge you that they're in a Spider-Man movie, but they're in there.
Hey, if you start judging where things are coming from, eventually you're just not going to get any information.
I think it's adorable, sweetheart.
Thank
I
you.
think it's
Thank you.
adorable. Okay, what's your topic?
It's funny because mine was what are some huge pet peeves you have?
About you or just in general?
I think fine. Let's just do about each other. Let's get this.
Oh, do we want to? That could be harsh.
Let's get spicy. I think the people like the spicy. We get spicy with each other anyways. Let's get spicy. Come on.
Oh gosh. Well, I kind of
I
feel
got.
like we've already covered my pet peeve about you is procrastination. Like you really are, hey, have you done that? Have you done that? Have
I
you,
think that's less of a
how's
pet
this going?
peeve. That's. I feel like that's more of like a just a full on like problem.
Right. Like you're driving me effing crazy.
Yes.
I don't think I have a lot of pet. Oh, I have one. Whenever you're home, so I'm not like the cleanest person. Like, like my bedroom has clothes on the chair, whatever. Like I'm not anal by any means or OCD or anything, but I like a tidy house. Like before I go to bed, I pick up everything in the living room.
Okay.
I make sure my house looks nice.
I clean up after you the entire time I'm home, all the time. You are a mess. What
That's
are
not
you
true.
talking about?
That's not true. I'll come out
So
and you
true.
have shoes in the middle of the floor and your shoes are size 15.
Yeah,
I
and the
have
entire
fallen on
dinner table
several
is
occasions.
covered in your makeup and books and pens and whoa, this is
You
out
leave
of
your
nowhere.
shoes everywhere and they're
I
size
put my
15.
shoes by the stairs. You leave your shoes everywhere. All
Okay,
right.
there you go. That
That's
was my
your
pet peeve.
that's your pet peeve. That is insane. I clean. I have. I There's times I've gotten to your house. You haven't even been there for a week, and I have to clean.
This isn't true.
That is so true. How many times have I had to get rid of old chili?
Oh yeah, I'll leave a big pot of chili in the fridge. I will do that because I'll cook it and I'll think you're coming home, you're gonna want the chili, and then you don't really want the chili, so you have to throw it out.
No, you cook it like 6 months in advance. You cook it way before I'm even coming. Okay, that's you don't cook it for me. I have to throw out old ass chili. Okay,
Okay, so what's your pet peeve about me besides the old ass chili?
and you know what? Self awareness might be one of mine now. Because you just keep making up these stories. I clean up. I
Agree to
clean.
disagree. Agree to
I clean.
disagree.
What are you? Okay.
Oh, well, I'm looking you on the screen right now. So I know it's a podcast and people are listening, but some
Mhm.
people are watching this on YouTube. So we did get a comment on our social media post this week. One of our listeners said, "Oh, so your son is adopted?"
No,
So I just want you to look into the camera and smile. Look at our cheeks, lips. No,
yeah, I'm
not
not
adopted,
adopted. You know that
not
there's these
adopted.
things called mixed families where some people
Biracial children.
they sleep with other races of children. It might not happen to whoever the commenter is. Sorry that you have less genetically diverse children, and so they're more prone to disease and stuff. Sorry that happens, but races we mix. We're all one race, but these people from different origins they mix, and
Mhm.
it creates biracial angels. And I'm sick
Biracial
of this
angels.
adopted question because it's
I know,
pretty
especially because
ridiculous.
I have a picture of me. I can't decide if I should share it with Robbie or not, our great producer to put on the podcast. But I'm a short woman. I'm 5'3.5", and you were a very big baby. You were almost 9 pounds. You're a big person. You're six. How big are you? 6'3", 180.
6'2". Oh, not what I did.
Okay, so a few pounds higher. But
Just
you're a big person. You're a big person. So I have a picture of me from the side while I'm pregnant, and you are like sticking straight out, like clear out here. And my poor little tummy has never recovered because you were a giant baby and you ruined your mother's tummy.
yeah. And I see this is actually that opens up a new wound. Maybe I was too mean to the commenter, but the commenter is kind of an idiot, so I can be rude.
Not an idiot, but like, look
No,
at our
idiot.
cheeks. We're
They're an
we're
idiot.
identical. Yeah.
They're an idiot. They're an idiot. I don't care. I will be mean to this person because I
Don't be
got
mean,
the,
honey. Don't be
I
mean. They don't
will,
know.
because no, because this
They
is
just
something
don't
I have to
know.
deal with. They're an idiot then. It's so easy to figure out.
Okay.
I I've been dealing with that question since I was like 6. I had a teacher ask me that question at elementary school. And it's kind of it's dumb. I understand there is, maybe it's not completely dumb, but I think it's kind of ridiculous to just be like, "Oh, you're adopted? Don't ask. Don't ask." Like, Google it before you ask the actual person. That's insane. And I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm so obviously look the same.
we do. I just like I've had a few people through your lifetime ask me that. And I really want to just whip up my shirt and be like, no, you see these stretch marks?
Yeah,
He's not adopted. I
yeah.
sacrificed for this baby.
She put in the work. It's just I don't know. There's something about it that just seems so like
Yeah, that
belittling.
might be a question you shouldn't ask in polite society,
Yeah,
just in
and
general.
it just upsets me because I think it's triggered because I'm like,
Mm,
no, that's my mom.
yes.
Like, not that adopted, it's not bad to be adopted in any way, but it's just like for some reason I just feels like they're trying to other me in some sense, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how I feel, and it makes me feel very upset.
I get
So
that.
to that commenter, shut it down.
Shut it down.
You
Zip it.
know what? We'll never invite anybody to bully anybody else. So just delete it. So that way they don't come get you. What are we going to call our fans? What would we call our fans? We can't
Well,
call
I
them
mean, I feel
mommies.
like some of our fans will be for me and some of our fans will be for you, like
Fair.
mommers or sunners, or like,
Mm,
is it us against each other, us, or are they all
I
one
want
big happy family?
I want my fans to be called the macaronis.
Macaronis.
Yes, because we're saucy.
Hollylicious. Mine are the Hollyliciouses. No, that's not good.
That
That's not
doesn't
good.
roll off the tongue, man. Yeah.
Hallelujahs.
Hallelujahs. I like that. That's good. I mean, this is presumptuous to think that we would have fans. We're just supposed to be talking to each other.
Okay, you two fans out there, you now
Hey,
got your name. Enjoy.
that, and when I have no macaronis and you have all the hallelujahs, it's
Hallelujahs.
hallelujah,
Hallelujahs.
hallelujahs. When you have a million hallelujahs and there's just one, just freaking Trumper guy that's just like, I love him.
I love macaroni. I
I
love that
love
Mac.
macaroni. That macaroni fella. I can't believe that she found him when they adopted
All right,
her.
honey. Well, I think it's been a good pod. Goodbye. And I love you. And
I love
thank
you
you for
too.
calling me.
Thank you. I love Mo.
Love you too, honey.